This week's show is brought to you by the Dance Studio of Tupelo, and Sprint Print, and Scarlett's Donuts. In this week's edition of WTHS News, we take a look at theater and how students came together for a teacher.
I'm on the run from paradise. I think I left my head behind. And on the radio, she's your ladybird. She's your ladybird. I can hear you dreaming. I'm dreaming too. Can you hear me calling? I'm calling on you. I can hear you dreaming. I'm dreaming too.
Welcome back to this week's edition of WTHS News. I'm Ari Giorgenti. All the way from Broadway to right here in Tupelo, all theater productions have been affected by COVID-19. Ava has more on how they are competing in an all-virtual season.
As COVID-19 continues to plague our nation, THS theater students aren't letting it slow them down. In fact, they've continued to thrive with pre-recorded virtual shows. Their current project is something called Playworks, an international playwriting competition that has been around since Mr. Milner has been in high school. Recently, he started Playworks back up in Mississippi.
When I became a board member of Mississippi Thespians 3 years ago, as a writer, I wanted there to be an outlet for student writers to have the opportunity to compete at the state level instead of just sending their pieces off to the international level.
Several students decided to submit their plays to Playworks this year, one of which was Paley Raspberry, and she says there wasn't much inspiration for her play, but that it just started out as an assignment.
Well, I really like mysteries and like supernatural mysteries, and I wrote this play as a 10-minute play assignment for Miss Austin's class, and so when I submitted it, she encouraged me to submit it for a playwriting competition, Playworks.
After submitting her play, Is This Seat Taken, and having it judged, Raspberry placed third in the state, and now her play moves on to be judged on the national level. She shares her advice for any prospective playwrights.
Write what you want to write and write what you're interested in, because at first I was discouraged that no one would want to like participate in my play, like no one like cares about this stuff. Just like don't let anybody bring you down.
Another student who wrote and submitted a play is Susanna Latner, who says her inspiration came from her own experiences.
My inspiration really comes from my own trauma and what I went through. So this is a true story. It's about a kid whose parents don't understand their kid's mental illness and the difficulties of getting help.
Latner says that the most difficult part of writing her play, This Is Parenting, was the courage to share it with her fellow students and actors. She says that in the end, it was all worth it.
It's also really rewarding to see people who have told me, yeah, this is how it is. This is awesome to see someone with a shared experience and make this normal, because this happens to more people than you think it does.
Latner's play ended up placing first in the state and is also moving on to the national competition. Both Raspberry and Latner's plays can be viewed on the Tupelo High School Theater Vimeo page. I'm Ava Lacey, WTHS News.
Thanks, Ava. All 3 years that Playworks has been around, Tupelo has won every year, including this year. One way students are spreading the Valentine spirit is by coming together to surprise a teacher.
Hey! I didn't notice that!
Construction teacher Mr. Bridges has felt the love and support of his fellow CTE teachers and students as he is recovering from an unfortunate incident. A group of his co-workers gathered to surprise him with his refurbished truck. Collision repair teacher Mr. Bradley led the CTE department in preparing this special surprise for Mr. Bridges as he returns from the hospital and eases back into teaching. Mr. Bradley's class has devoted their talents to what he likes to call pimping Mr. Bridges' ride.
The class didn't know, but I know that he's been wanting to get his truck painted for quite some time. Even though it's unfortunate, we always got to find the good in everything. So we know that it's a small token from our side of what we could do for him. But it's not all about all your money. Like once again, it's about you giving of your time and of yourself to help someone else out. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Everyone coming together, showing that love, showing that one heartbeat that we talk about, and actually displaying that, especially with a fellow teacher.
Mr. Bradley saw an opportunity to help out a teacher in need and provide his class with hands-on experience at the same time. The automotive class was also instrumental in this project.
What we done to his truck was we have painted his truck, we have detailed his truck inside and out, we have fixed his exhaust pipes, and we have fixed his heater.
Mr. Bradley appreciates all of the support many of the CTE teachers have shown towards this project, and he says that it would not be possible without everyone coming together the way that they did.
Some of them chipped in, coming by the shop and actually working. Others has chipped in monetary donations to pay for the paint and the materials to paint the truck.
One of Mr. Bridges' students, Cesario Carrillo, is seen as a hero after the unfortunate incident. He was awarded with a Star Award and a plaque for his courageous efforts. Cesario, along with all of the other teachers and students of the CTE department, have shown Mr. Bridges how much they appreciate him by using their time, resources, and talents to present him with this gift. This is Mary Ellen Wolf for WTHS News.
Thanks, Mary Ellen. Mr. Bridges is excited to get back in the classroom. Our basketball teams have been flooding the court. Alyssa has more.
Hey guys, it's Alyssa. Welcome back to this week's edition of Sports Media. Last week, our archery team had a home match against Nettleton. Tupelo wins with a score of 3,069 to Nettleton's score of 2,896. Congrats to Jack Baker on being the top shooter of the entire match, having an overall score of 274. This week, they set a new team record with a score of 3,143, but still fell short to Saltillo's score of 3,324. The girls bowling team pushed their way to a state championship scheduled for the 5th. This would be their first championship in several years. Though the girls ended up losing the championship, they ended their season being 8th in the state, which continues to be a big accomplishment for the team and the coach. We'll have that story updated for you next week. As many sports are coming to a close, baseball and softball season will begin. Baseball's Meet the Wave was last Friday, highlighting every player of both JV and varsity teams. In the midst, the teams split up playing blue versus gray, the blue team coming out with the win. Make sure to go out and support your Golden Wave baseball and Lady Wave softball teams as they open up their season this Saturday. This past Monday, our basketball teams played versus DeSoto. The girls ended the game with a score of 58 to 55, and the boys ended with a score of 58 to 54. Both teams will play in division finals today at 6 and 7. Last week and this week, 5 athletes signed to play at the next level. Congratulations to football signees Corbin Huggins signing with Kahoma Community College, Gentry Turner signing with Itawamba Community College, Jarius McGinnister signing with Belhaven University, Quay Edwards signing with Northeast Community College, as well as golf signee Ross Reeder signing with Itawamba Community College. Thanks for tuning into this week's edition of Sports Media. Make sure to check back in next week for your game results and updates.
Thanks, Alyssa. Since February is National CTE Month, Behind the Mask will be featuring our CTE Teacher of the Year, Miss Bernard.
This is Miss Bernard's third year teaching at Tupelo High School. She teaches Law and Public Safety in the Career Technical Education Center. Law and Public Safety is a class to give the foundations for a career in the law field.
It could be civil rights attorneys, criminal defense, or defense attorneys. It also gives you the foundations of being in law enforcement, which would be under the public safety realm.
Miss Bernard loves hearing what her students have to say about law enforcement. She believes that her students are the future.
My favorite thing about being a teacher is actually learning from my kids and just seeing their outlook on what they feel like law enforcement is and how we can make it better.
Miss Bernard said she was honored to receive the CTE Teacher of the Year award.
Oh, I was overwhelmed. I was shocked. I remember when they came in, I was just shaking. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I was so glad that I was nominated by my coworkers and my department. I'm just honored to be acknowledged. Doing what I was driven to do.
Teaching during this pandemic has been very different, but Miss Bernard has found a way to make the most of it. She loves to see the creative side to her students, and the different school year has not changed that.
And I know it's our new norm, but I've tried my best having to teach on all platforms, whether it's virtually or traditional, and bringing that creativity to both platforms.
Miss Bernard is extremely honored to receive this award. She is passionate about teaching her students and has loved getting feedback from them. Miss Bernard has made the best of this unusual year and is incredibly grateful for her students and this award. This is Lucy Johnston with WTHS.
Thanks, Lucy. Skills USA is also hosting a canned food drive through February 26th. Sadly, THS will not be observing President's Day due to the snow day we had, so make sure you get to school on Monday whether you're virtual or on campus. That's all we have for this week's edition of WTHS News. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Ari Giorgenti. Happy Valentine's Day!